Let's take a look at the instructor controls for the Holler LMS and the tools that you will be using on a regular basis as you work through the material. So the first thing I'll do is on login, I'll log in with email, and then I have my credentials saved. So as an instructor, when you log in, it's going to pop back to the home page, and then it's going to automatically redirect you to your dashboard. And it's going to load the Manage Courses page. So what this is going to show you is any course that you've been assigned to as an instructor. You can hop in here and make edits to the courses. This is where you can send out some notifications and messages. It's where you can grade. It's where you can check on the status of your students, and so on and so on. So we'll go ahead and hop into this first course. From this course home screen, it's going to show you how many students you have total. It's going to give you access to those individual students where you can extend a course or change status for a user. If you needed to reset any assignments or reset the course as a whole, this is where you could do that. If there's a timer set on the course, you can see how much longer a student has within the course. You can come over here. If you mouse over anything, it's going to show you what happens. So you can remove a student, you can check a student's statistics for the course, what their sort of grades are overall if you're using grades, student course activity, or reset the course progress as a whole. As you click through these tabs, you'll see this is just giving you overall activity. So this is just a quick snapshot of what every student in the course is doing. For submissions, if you have assignments that students are turning in, or you have quizzes that students are taking that either need to be graded or automatically graded, all that information can be found here. And it's filtered by pending evaluation and evaluation complete, so you can look at both. So we don't have any students who've completed any assignments in this course, obviously, but if I clicked assignment and then select a module, it would show me the ones that have assignments connected to them, and then you can click through and see. So obviously now no one has anything submitted, but this is where you could go in, get a quick snapshot, and where you could see which students needed grades and who doesn't. You have announcements and news. Right now there's nothing in here by default. This is where you could click create news and send out a message to the students. By default, we have this set up so that if an instructor creates a news announcement, it's on the course homepage when the student logs in, but it can also be sent as an email to those students as well. You don't have to use this. It's a tool that's there if you would like to. Reviews is we can turn it on so students could leave a review for the course when they're finished, if you would like that to happen. Question and discussions. With each module or each lesson within the Holler LMS, at the bottom a student has a button that says ask a question. And so if they're confused about anything, or they have a comment, or would like to get some feedback about, or more information about any sort of lesson or any course material, they can click ask a question, type that. You'll get an email as an instructor that someone has asked a question, but those will also live here in this questions and discussions. And so you could see pending, answered, and comments, and you can just toggle back and forth. As of with the other things, this is empty right now, but this is where that information would populate. You also have statistics. So we've been running tests. This 22 students in the course is not accurate, obviously. We'll reset that when the course launches for real. But this is where you could see average marks on or average grades on assignments. If you were awarding certificates and badges and all that sort of stuff, and you can click refresh to update this at any time. You can also filter or create CSV exports of this of the grades and the course progress if that's something that you need. So you can any of these boxes that you check will then populate inside of this generate stats. So you would click which one of these that you would need, click generate stats. It would download a comma separated values file that you could open in Excel or Google Sheets or any program that edits CSV files. Finally, we have Edit Course. You may or may not end up having to use this. This is where you would go in and update content within the course structure itself. So there's a place for a welcome video for the course in general. We don't have anything in there right now, but if you wanted to create a general, hi, this is who we are, this is what this course is about, this is where we would embed that. If I click this, I could add a section, or I could add the image for the course. The name of the course and course category goes here. You can type a short description about the course, a detailed description about the course. Most of this information will set up the final version of it. You won't have to worry about this. I'll show you what these pieces are just so you're familiar. You can just sort of click through this on a linear path. Settings. These are advanced settings. This is also an area where the Holler team would create this for you and make sure everything is sort of tracking the way it needs to as far as the course settings go. If you do have course-specific instructions that you would like for students to be able to read at the beginning of the course, we can put those here. Also a completion message. When they finish the course, if you want to give some specific instructions or thank you message, this is where we would put that information. Components, because we're going to run the course through a batch structure or a cohort structure, this is where we'll create different course groups, course forums for each of those batches or cohorts. So you won't have to worry about this, but when you see this, just so you know what those components are. Finally, where you will probably edit some things as we go along is in this Set Curriculum tab. So this shows the overall curriculum for the entire course. You have headers, and then you have all of the individual modules or units within each of those. If I click one, it'll give you a preview of what that unit looks like. You can scroll through and take a look. If you click this pencil icon, it's then going to allow you to edit that material. So this is where you would have unit text. These are for organizational things. You won't have to worry about those, but if you needed to change the title, if you wanted to get in here and add elements, we've built this in HTML elements. You can also build it in visual elements. Unit duration, if you had a specific amount of time you thought this would take. If there were any assignments or attachments or practice questions or things that you wanted to build into here, this is where you could do that. But the bulk of what you'll work with is this, what is this unit about? And if you click any of these elements, it's going to add new components for you. So if I click that, you can see it'll give me another text box. Every time I click this, it'll give me a new section. So that makes it a little easier to format the material as you go down the page. And so if you made changes to this, you would then click save, and then you can move on and continue to edit the course and go piece by piece. So in a separate video, I'll show you a sketchbook course that I've set up, depending on what order you're watching these videos. But we do have a sketchbook course where you can just create units, create materials, get a feel for how all of these pieces work without having to edit the actual course that's going to go live to your students. So I know this is a lot of information. You're definitely going to have specific questions, and that's great. As you come up with those questions, feel free to send us that information, and we'll work through and figure out the best way to answer those. We can either have individual meetings through Zoom, or we can create more video materials to help you walk through the information at your own pace and when you have time.